New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
And good morning, dear ones. Dr. Robert with you here on a Saturday morning. It is time for our Saturday Science of Mind and Spirit conversation series. I think we're going to have a shorter name next year. So thank you for being with us. So grateful that you're here. This is our final gathering for 2023, but that doesn't mean everything's done. We get to start over again next week. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that as we go along. First off, let's do a few shout outs and say good morning to Shaybird. Glad you're with us, dear one. Grateful you are here. Geneva, all the way from Fiona. Fiona, all the way from Geneva. Glad you're with us as well. Taking time out of your afternoon as we get started on our morning over here. Jeannie, good to see you, Reverend Jeannie Sovereigns. Good morning. Soon to be, well, I'm already going to say it, part of the New Thought Media Network family. She and her partner, Michelle, do a program called Sofa Sundays. They're going to start broadcasting with, they already do. They broadcast on Sunday mornings at 11, I think it's Mountain Time. Maybe it's Pacific Time. I got to finalize that in my mind. And we're going to rebroadcast their Sofa Sunday experience later in the week. Coming up in the new year as well. So all kinds of good stuff happening here at New Thought Media Network. And today is about Science of Mind and Spirit Saturdays. So as it is the last program of the year, I want to first off, look at that. Just as I get started. Good morning, Lori. Glad you're with us as well. Another shout out comes slipping in. Yes, Arizona. The whole world should just go on Arizona time, or at least the West. There we go. That would make life easier. I like the fact that Arizona does not change its clocks. That's a good thing in my opinion. All right. Let's get into where I'm supposed to be here this morning. And that is, number one, a sense of gratitude and appreciation. When this idea first came forward, there was no way it was going to happen just by me alone. And even from the very beginning, our very first broadcast, which was just under 2 years ago, first broadcast of this program was January 8th, 2022. So we're completing our second year of this program, and we got a great team for you for next year already. So I'll introduce a little bit more of that later. However, let me get back on track here. I want to say thank you first to Dr. Tracy Brown for an amazing talk last week on the essence of New Thought, of Science of Mind, and so much. It was such a great experience. I really loved it. And I want you folks to know that I don't do all of these. I don't do this alone, but I do participate and I do watch a lot of the other speakers throughout the year. In 2 years, this has really become an integral part of my spiritual practice on Saturday mornings. I hope that there are those out there that can say the same. I know that we see a number of you throughout the year, and that number keeps growing. So thank you all for being with us. So big shout out to everybody that was a part of the series this year. Where's my banner going? Oh no, that's because I'm in videos. That doesn't work if you're in videos. I've been having a technologically challenging morning here, I guess. So here we are. Big shout outs, Reverend Mark Gilbert, also a member of the board at the Science of Mind and Spirit Archives. We'll talk more about the archives. Reverend Victoria Von Berry, there she is, Dr. Tracy Brown, my dear brother, Reverend Elzia Sekou. Early in the year, Reverend Dr. Laura Topper was with us. Thank you for that. And in the second half of the year, we had Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson join us for a handful of conversations as well. When I look back at the way this team has grown and evolved over the last 2 years, I am so grateful to everyone that's played a part in what we're doing here. And really, I hope my desire, the reason we put this all together, was to bring the science of mind philosophy to us in a way that we can share comments, share ideas, and not get overly bogged down in the pomp and circumstance of a Sunday message, so that we could go a little deeper in the time that we're together, rather than just hitting the high points and getting to the next part of the program, which sometimes can happen. So I know that many of you that watch have responded to us and told us that you love where we're able to go with this program and what we're able to do with it. So okay, and I have something special I want to try today. However, I don't get to try that just yet. We're going to get to that in a minute. One more little setup piece. We do have a new team coming for next year. I'm going to introduce members of that team later today, although we've still got a couple people we're talking to, seeing if they can fit in with us or not. And each year, in the beginning of the year, for the first several months of the year, we discuss the Science of Mind textbook. And we go through that textbook chapter by chapter, week by week, and if you haven't ever seen the Science of Mind textbook, well, we'll get you one. And then we get a chance when we run out of chapters on the textbook, then we get the chance to move into the Science of Mind archives. And I love the partnership, the relationship, the friendship that we've been able to develop with the Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation and everyone up there. And Reverend Mark Gilbert, as I said earlier, is a member of the board of trustees for the archives. So he's been really, really involved in a number of things behind the scenes, helping, supporting the archives. And one of the things he's been doing is championing the cleanup, if you will, of some of the older audio recordings that haven't been available to the general public, haven't been available on YouTube. There's a few things, but much of this material, and some of it actually has only recently been discovered or rediscovered. And so just yesterday, Reverend Mark and the archives put out a great piece by Dr. Ernest Holmes. It was a talk that he gave on December 30th, 1956, I think it said. And I listened to it yesterday. I listened to it again this morning, and it's really, really good. And we want you to go over to the archives and check that out. You can visit the Science of Mind Archives at just that, scienceofmindarchives.com, and check that out. But what I also found while I was over there yesterday and today is a couple of Ernest Holmes's prayers that I didn't know about. Again, some of this is newer information and new experiences. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to light up a candle. Where is my candle? There is my candle. And I'm going to play one of these one of these prayers for you. It's only 2 minutes. So we're going to use this as a prayer today. And then I'm going to share more of what I'd like to share with you all. So please enjoy this.
Our meditation for today, let us take the closing words of our talk. Ask, and ye shall receive. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it will be opened unto you. And as we join in uniting our faith in this great search after God, let us actually believe that we are finding him here and now. Believing that God is in and through everything, and believing that God can be revealed through me to everyone, I sincerely seek to so live, to so think, and to so act, that kindness and joy and love and faith shall flow from me to everyone and everything I contact. I am glorifying the God in me by recognizing the God in others and seeking to live in union with the eternal good that flows through everything. Believing that there is one life animating everything, and one power sustaining everything, and one intelligence governing everything, I surrender my intellect and my will to its divine influence, knowing that only good can come from the source of all being. I surrender all littleness, all fear, all doubt to the certainty of the Spirit. I surrender all weakness to its strength, all sadness to its joy. I surrender earth to heaven. I surrender death into life. And I know that I am in the keeping of good forevermore.
And my mic is muted. There we go. Sorry about that, dear ones. I finished that with and so it is, as we listen to Dr. Ernest Holmes. And you can find that audio and so many more over on the Science of Mind archives on their homepage. It's there on their homepage right now. If you're already a member of the Science of Mind archives, it's a free download. If not, membership is really inexpensive and is a great value. So I invite you to consider that. Support our friends over there as well. All right. So as I was trolling around, doing my laps in the archives, trying to think of what I wanted to do today and what I wanted to talk about today, one of the things I kept coming back to, and I never actually found like a resource I wanted to discuss or an article I wanted to share. What I kept coming back to was this internal experience, an internal feeling of immense gratitude. And now, around the world, we talk about gratitude a lot in November for Thanksgiving and all that. And at this time of the year, we're often talking about what's coming next and the newness that's coming next and preparing ourselves for next year and what's happening. But I've been looping in this concept, in this feeling, not even a concept, just a feeling of great, great gratitude for what 2023 has already been. for all the amazingness, all the really fun stuff that came through in 2023. And not that we're going to sit here today and reflect upon that, but over the next couple of days, I do invite you to make sure that's part of your reflection. Yes, perhaps we're celebrating what's happening now, next, and coming new. And many people will be doing Burning Bowl celebrations tomorrow. I know that my dear beloved Laura and I will be at the Center for Spiritual Living Denver for their Burning Bowl celebration tomorrow. That is available here on the network. Tune in at 10 o'clock Mountain Time if you'd like to join all of us remotely for that. And that's going to be a great Burning Bowl celebration. I know it's going to be really meaningful. And I want to be grateful for all the ways that I and this network have grown this year. When I look back at where we were last year, just wrapping up the first series of this, asking the presenters who wanted to do another year, are we all in for another year? And everybody said yes. And well, not everybody, but most people. And we developed a second team, a new team for this past year. Every time that I study the science of mind, it takes me to a deeper place within the philosophy. And that's what I really want to talk about today, is the experience of continually digging deeper in the philosophy, as well as the faith and the way of life. And you hear me say this: the science of mind is a philosophy, a faith, and a way of life. Recently picked up a new book that I'm reading, and in that, and I don't want to talk about the topic of that, but in that, the author shares that the point that simply reading, simply not even learning or studying, but simply reading material or information that we are not familiar with increases our capacity to understand and not just I'm not just learning about it. It increases my ability to embrace greater and greater topics. This is in a book on integral theory, by the way. So, and they were actually using quantum physics to explain that. That most people don't know really what quantum physics teaches, and that's okay. It doesn't mean it's not operating. However, for those that are studying quantum physics, even if we don't understand what it's saying, or we don't really fully comprehend what we're reading, then the reading increases our capability of embodying and learning. And so it is with the repetition, is where I'm getting to. It is with the repetition of reading different texts about quantum physics that we come to better understand all of the different nuances. And I think the same thing happens with New Thought, specifically with the science of mind, is the more often I read the material, it isn't that I am somehow, it's not that I've amassed enough hours of reading that suddenly I pass a threshold. It is in the experience that my capacity expands. Now, I want to draw a corollary here, because we talk about philosophy, faith, and way of life. And I think that that capacity is expanding our capacity for the faith part of all this. Because if you're here, if you're already here, you already understand, for the most part, this philosophy. Now, maybe there's some things that you're not quite sure of. Maybe there's some questions you have about different aspects or different parts of that. And this is the place to do that, folks. This is the place to interact and drop your questions or your comments, and as appropriate, we'll bring them in to the conversation. So it is through reading the concepts that Holmes teaches. It is through reading the philosophy, studying the philosophy in different forms. Now, again, this is the primary. And That's why, but we only talk about each chapter for 1 week. And then we move on, and then we progress, and then we move on and we progress. And every year when I come back to it, it takes a deeper meaning. I can take a deeper dive. So studying the philosophy expands my capacity to live in faith. Interestingly enough, in this talk that Holmes gives, that he gave, the one that just got posted, the December 30th conversation talk, he speaks not only to the fact that he doesn't give much faith to resolutions. We now have it where it's on audio, but he also speaks to the point where expanding our faith is really of the utmost importance. I can know this stuff intellectually. I can recite the words, I can speak the quotes, I can point you in the right directions in this book or that book, but do I truly live in a state of faith that this works? That this stuff really works? I want to give you an example of what it can look like to really live in that place of faith. As we approach the end of the year here at New Thought Media Network, there is always an eye on budgets and budgeting for next year, and what bills are due and what payments need to be made and how can we expand. And ultimately, there is always an eye on how do we expand the prosperity consciousness of our community, and therefore not only attract but earn greater amounts of financial income to support this ministry. To let us do what we do, to let us take this message out into the world, to be able to have the tech and invest in new tech and have the cameras and do the things we do to share this message, to be more instrumental in the New Thought movement. And this morning, as I was in my preparations, almost back to back, within like 5 minutes, 2 different people made donations to the network. Now, for those of you that are on our committed giving program, number one, thank you. And when someone starts a new committed giving or someone makes a one-time donation, I get an email. When you're on the committed giving program, I don't get an email every month when you renew, because the system believes that I already know you're giving on a monthly basis. And so it doesn't need to inform me. However, the system informs me, sends me an email every time someone gives a one-time donation or anytime someone makes a recurring donation, sets up a recurring donation. So this morning, as I'm in my prep time, bing, my email rings. I look over, so-and-so has made a donation. All right, great. So I jump in and see who it is, send them a quick little thank you note, and I'm off back into my preparation for the talk today. Then the next thing I know, boom, there's another one. Hey, this is getting to be a pretty prosperous morning. And yes, the second one was larger than the first one. And I went through the process, said thank you. And I struck on that point that I'm like, this is how easy it is. This is truly how easy life can be. I'm already in a state of gratitude as I'm preparing to say thank you to the people that make this happen, and each and every one of you that tune in every week. I'm already cultivating that vibration of gratitude in my life. And truly, my mind is not on the money at this point. My mind is not on the budgeting. My mind is not on the finances. And just like that, I'm given more opportunity to be grateful, to be able to say thank you, and to recognize that I can take time out of what I'm doing. And here's the way of living. I can take time out of what I'm doing to say thank you to the divine and to the avenue through which the divine takes form. That is you. That is me. That is the people of this thing we call life. So science of mind at its core is a philosophy. We've been saying that. I've been saying that all morning. It is that philosophy leads us to an experience of faith. This stuff really works. And to use the words of Johnny Coleman, when you work it. It works when you work it. So by being here every Saturday, by taking the time to get prepared on the weeks when I'm scheduled, and by being here to help in the background producing when others are speaking, by being here every week, that just simply being here, just simply listening to this material, even if I already know it, even if I know exactly where the speaker's going or what quote they're going to use, even if I already know exactly what I'm about to say, the experience of it increases my capacity to live in a deeper sense of faith, a faith that the universe has got my back and yours, that through the power of our prayer, anything is possible. And really what I have found in the past 20 years or so is the only time the system breaks down is when, excuse me, the only time the system breaks down is when I stop believing, when I start doubting, when I stay in my faith. This becomes a way of life. It becomes a way of life to wake up in the morning and just be in that place of knowing it's all working out. Everything's happening just as it must, whether I know what I'm talking about or not. We develop faith. The faith helps us to develop the way of life. And as I look at some of the names of the people that are here, I know many of you. I've had conversations with many of you around, well, perhaps the most important question in all of this. How's your spiritual practice? How's my spirit? I ask myself that all the time. How's my spiritual practice? It's important. It's not just, I do a little prayer now and again, and sometimes I close my eyes and do a meditation, and maybe I read a little. In 20 years, I have seen countless processes and practices. They do this, things to do, 30 days of this, 21 days of that, 40 days of this, that, the other thing. And not that any of them are wrong, because every part of it is valid. But what is important is that you develop a practice that works for you. Now I see the royal we of New Thought, countless people can report what works for them. But that's their way of living. It may look a lot like my way of living. It may align with my way of living. And yet my way is going to be different than your way. And that, I believe, is of utmost importance. That we each develop our own unique and internal and external practice. Journaling, prayer, meditation, visioning, being here on a Saturday morning, kicking back with a cup of coffee. I don't know why I said that. I drink tea. Kicking back with a cup of tea and allowing yourself to be in an environment of positivity, an environment teaching the New Thought philosophy, an environment that is demonstrating and sharing how we live through faith and live this philosophy. And I'm not the only one doing it. When I look back at where we have come in this network, remember, this all started in March of 2020. Now, it was a divine idea in the mind of God long before that. But I wasn't ready to accept that and to listen to that and to activate on it. But come March of 2020, everything aligned, if you will, to bring forth a unique opportunity in my ministry to live in a deeper and a more expansive experience of faith. We had no idea what was going to happen. But I held on to the fact that it had to be good. I might not like it. It might be kind of yucky, but the bigger picture, there had to be something emerging here. And for 2020 and 2021, we didn't even do this program. And it was sometime in 2021 that the idea came forward, hey, I want to do something a little different. But I don't want to do it on Sunday mornings. And I don't want to do it alone. But I want to do something a little different. So who might want to do something with me? And I got some good friends together, and we sat around and we talked and we chatted, and an idea formed. An idea that was here all along. See, I believe that if you're here, if you're listening to New Thought Media Network, whether it's this program or any of our programming, because I want you to know, all of our programming is put together to support you in having a deeper understanding, a deeper sense of faith, and therefore a deeper experience, a more profound experience of how this stuff works when you work it. Reverend Jeannie adds, also adding service, giving, positive action, and thought, taking ancient teachings and incorporating into my brain the new thought I need. Yes. Absolutely, Jeannie. So grateful that you are with us. Over the past couple of years, it's become pretty evident to me and to many of the people that I am associated with that we are at a turning point. That we are at a turning point where new thought is becoming not only more relevant, but more necessary for the evolution of human consciousness. Now, for those that have been around New Thought for quite a while, this may sound like well, yeah, no, duh, no, Robert, come on. We all know this. But what this requires is for every one of us also to take a more active experience, to be more actively participating in speaking this, in living this, in sharing this. We're creating an environment where we can immerse ourselves in the wisdom and the knowledge of what is New Thought. Now, we're going to come at it from, and here's the thing, right? Science of mind, interestingly enough, in that talk I'm speaking about, Holmes also uses a term that I want to go back and listen to again in context again and again. But he speaks about the branches of the science of mind. The branches of the science of mind. The science of mind is not just one thing. It's not just this book. It is a science. That's why in the beginning we called ourselves religious scientists. We study the various religions, and now that expands. We study the various spiritual. What word do I want to use there? The various spiritual experiences, the various spiritual teachings. And from that, each one of us takes what works, and we can let go of the rest, because there's always more than enough. So we come to this place where the philosophy expands our faith, so that we can expand how we live, and we can open up to all the greater teachings of the planet, of the universe. I spent the majority of my early years, if you will, in the New Thought philosophy, studying exclusively the science of mind. And I still don't feel that I've mastered it all. But in the study of this philosophy, it opened me to greater and other. All right, let's get rid of the word greater. It's not a value proposition. It opened me to other great philosophies. It opened me to other ways of looking at all this stuff. So, Science of Mind Saturday, I dive in here. I dive into the archives. And in this coming year, we're going to continue that work with a mostly the same team. I will let you know, Reverend Mark Gilbert will be with us again next year. Dr. Tracy Brown is going to be with us again next year. Reverend Victoria Bomberry is going to be with us again next year. Reverend Elzia Sekou will be with us again next year. I will be with us again next year. We're bringing a new team member on the team, Reverend Barbara Jean, out of Canada, CSL on the Lake in Toronto, Canada, who is also, I can almost not, I'll tell you, give Barbara Jean a show and she's there. Reverend Barbara Jean has 2 different programs here on the New Thought Media Network and is now joining this as well. We're going to have a great year. But we're going to stress and we're going to focus on using what we learn to expand our capacity of faith, so we may be a greater demonstration, a greater example, a greater expression of living New Thought. Linda shares, living our lives as expressions of science mind principles enriches us in all we touch. Exactly. Exactly. And we would love for you to join us on this process. We would love for you to join us. And okay, wait a minute. I'm going to even rephrase that one, because you're already with it, right? You're here. We want you to invite your friends. I want you to invite the people that you know and that you know are ready to be a part of something different, are ready to help us take this to a new level. I'm forgetting something, so I'm working on pulling up a resource for you. There it is. We want you to invite those that you know to be a part of what we're doing. And part of what we're doing is our new community platform. So I'm going to put a link here in the comments, and I'm going to put it on a scroll banner. It's not going to be easy to well, I'm going to put it in the comments. If you get the comment, cool. If not, let me know. Some of the sites on Facebook we can't post comments to certain locations, but if you're on YouTube, you're definitely going to see the link. And on our main page on Facebook, you'll see the link. We're opening a community platform. We are right now launching, and you can go join this today. If you don't get the link, let me know. We will get you the link. Send it out to you in an email. Just drop me an email, info@ntmedia.org, and we'll get you the link. We are creating a brand new community platform specifically for those that want to be a part of not just this community, but a part of the movement to take new thought out into the world in a bigger and more powerful way. And it all starts today. It all starts right now. That's all there is to it. Come be a part of what we're doing. Let your friends know. Let your family know. Let those that you tell the world. That's what it's all about, is telling the world that we've no longer willing to play small, no longer willing to hide in the shadows, no longer doing the old, well, when somebody asks us what we think of this or what we think of that, doing, or what we believe, we're not doing the old, well, I believe in that. Being outright, standing up and standing out. Every year people come up with all these great little ideas for the coming year, right? Going for more in 2024 or whatever it is. And I'm sorry, I don't want to put that stuff down. If that supports, if that works, do it. But I think the coming year is about standing up and standing out. Standing up. Standing up as a demonstration of this philosophy. Standing up for what we believe in. Standing up for a world that works for everyone. Standing up for what we want to create in the world. And I believe that as we do that individually, at the organizational level, as the movement of new thought, well, we're going to change the world. Yes, my dear Laura, let's soar in 24. Let's stand up and stand out. Let's stand up proud that we are new thought, that we are the science of mind, that we are the affiliated New Thought Network, that we are the International New Thought Alliance, that we are Unity, that we are the Agape International Spiritual Center, that we are the Association for Global New Thought, that we are Hillside, that we are Christ Universal Temple, that we are the Universal Federation for Better Living, that we are New Thought Media Network. Let's stand up and stand out. And be a shining beacon that others just cannot resist. We already are everywhere. We're we're all over Hollywood. We're all over the East Coast. We're all over North America. This philosophy is expanding itself all across the world. Now is our time. And we are the ones we've been waiting for. There it is, folks. Stand up and stand out. Let's soar in 24. Let's go for more in 24. Let's roar in 24. Let's do it. Let's do it all. I'm Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski. It is an honor to be, I call myself the founding visionary. It is just an honor to have caught this thing and to have lived and my first teacher, Reverend Donald Graves, just jumped into my head. And it isn't anything he said. It's that deep, deep sense of gratitude that he was willing to stand up as a minister and teach this philosophy, that he was willing to go through what he went through as a minister to lead a community and to be a part of the organizations and to be this, to live this. I think we all have that honor to be the demonstration, the living demonstration of what we know is the truth of this philosophy. I'm grateful that I fell into this thing when I did, because over time it has changed my life for the better. And I know it can do that for everyone on this planet. No matter what they're doing, no matter how good their life looks or doesn't, this stuff works when we work it. I want to thank you for being with us. If you are part of our committed giving program, thank you again for being a part of that. If you're not and you'd like to become a part of our committed giving program, please just head on over to the website ntmedia.org. Click on the donate button. I'm not sure why it's not here in the why I'm not finding it in my banners, but head on over, click on the donate button, make it a monthly donation, and we'll get you included in our next thank you video and all of that, which you might be saying, what thank you video? Let's take a look at our thank you video as soon as I find it here. We do want to take a moment to say thank you to everyone that is currently on our committed giving program and our organizational sponsors as well. So please stay with me. I'll be right back. Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hepperlin Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Spiritual Center Kitchener, Om Center for Spiritual Living La Mesa, Satya Center, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for making New Thought Media Network a place to be. Please come be you. And remember, like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring. All right, dear ones, I'm going to get out of here for now, let you get into the rest of your Saturday. Thank you so much again for being a part of what we're doing. I'll be back again next week to kick off the brand new series of 2024, introduce you to the whole team of folks that are going to be leading us through this experience next year. And we'll get started right from the very beginning with more of the Science of Mind next Saturday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Thank you again for being with us. I look forward to being with you again soon. I want you to know how much we love and appreciate all that you are and all that you do to be a part of this network. Until next time, I wish you peace and richest blessings. Bye now.